Our senator, and finally a Green Beret who will represent us in Washington. I want to go to work every day to elect Derrick Anderson for Congress.
People of the 7th Congressional District, do we want to win? Folks, thank you all so much for being here. Thank you, Governor Youngkin, Lieutenant Governor Sears, Hum Cow. Talk about a brother in arms here. Love this guy. Senator Duran, Delegate Scott, thank you all so much for being here. I want to do something a little different. So if you all remember during their race, we all talked about the governor's vest. The governor always had this red vest. And it was the coolest thing, right? If you got a vest from the governor, you were the cool guy. Yeah, there's one right there. So we kind of did something with our campaign with polos. So we have red polos for the governor, lieutenant governor, Hum Cow, Senator Duran. This is going to be our thing for the 7th Congressional District. Why? Because we're going to win. We're actually running around this district. We were in Prince William County right beforehand this morning. We had a group of young Republicans from UVA. There are 20 of them that came from UVA in Charlottesville to come knock on doors. Folks, my name is Derrick Anderson. I'm running to be your next congressman here in the 7th Congressional. County, just down the street from here, folks. Look, I grew up working at my mom's local restaurants. My mom is sitting here, as she always is. My mom owns several small businesses. We want to talk about what our small businesses are going through. Me and my family went through it. I started my career washing dishes, mopping floors, and then she was very, very fortunate to elevate me and promote me to cook. If you ever had the opportunity to go to the whistle stop, I was the kid in the back flipping burgers. Before I graduated from Cortland High School, you know what's pretty cool about running in your home district? You get to see people that you went to high school with. You get to see people like Jake Lane, who's the now chairman of the Board of Supervisors in Spotsylvania County that I went to middle school with. I mean, this is the kind of people, these are what we're doing, folks. We're here in our district, and there's something going on here. I have a feeling, and look, after I graduated from Portland High School, I went to Virginia Tech on an ROTC scholarship, and we can go Hokies. We got a game plan. And became the first person in my family to graduate from college. Following that, I joined the Army. I was an infantry officer, went to Ranger School before deploying to Iraq for 15 months as part of the surge. I then had the opportunity to go to the Honor Guard, where I did about 150 funerals at Arlington National Cemetery. And you want to talk about one of the truly most honorable things that I had the opportunity to do was to look those family members in the eye as we were laying their loved one down to rest for the last time. I then became a Green Beret and deployed 5 times as a Green Beret to Afghanistan, Bahrain, Lebanon, Israel, and Jordan before getting out of the Army and going to law school and clerking for 2 federal judges. And folks, much like my friend Hum Cow here, what got me off the couch, the thing that made me stop screaming at the TV, I was throwing things at the TV, much like we are doing now, was seeing what happened in Afghanistan. That botched withdrawal in Afghanistan was absolutely disastrous, and we saw that there was no accountability on behalf of the President and Vice President, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. In fact, we saw Joe Biden at the Dover ceremony during the dignified transfer of remains, looking at his watch, folks. That's what got me off the couch. Folks, we cannot afford another 4 years of where we're at right now. We talk about what's going on in our country, folks, and they look the other way. We look at the economy right now. Look, I want to tell you this quick story. Ella, are you here? There she is. So I tell this story because it's important. Hi, Ella. So Ella wrote me a letter, and I went to my P.O. box in downtown Fredericksburg, pulled the letter out. Usually there's a whole bunch of junk mail in there. And I pulled out this letter, and I opened it. And it was very colorful. And as I look at it, it was telling me that, she supports our veterans, she wanted to wish us a happy Memorial Day. And then there was a line that stuck out to me. Ella said, "Derrick, can you fix the government so my mom can buy snacks again?" Ella, how old are you? 10 years old. Ella knows what's going on right now. If Ella is knowing what's going on right now, the entire country is feeling this right now, folks. I tell you that story because I sat with Shannon and her mom. I rode over to their house. Admittedly, came out of the car, and was like, "I'm Derrick Anderson, I'm running for Congress." And they told me, they said it's tough to catch up right now. They can't save for kids' education. They can't put money away for retirement. Folks, right now, the average family in Virginia, about a third of Virginians right now are living paycheck to paycheck. It used to be when you had a six-figure salary, $100,000 to $200,000, I thought you were rich. I thought that was amazing. The average income now can't buy the average house. Rent is through the roof. We see the average household right now is paying about $1,100 more a month just to live. That's not to go on a fancy vacation or go on a fancy dinner. That's just to live. A quarter of Virginians right now are delinquent on their credit cards. A quarter, folks. My opponent will be a rubber stamp for the policies that just got us into this mess over the last 4 years. My opponent is focused on his past. He's focused on trying to rectify the failed policies of the Biden-Harris administration and his revenge tour against Donald Trump. While me and my campaign, we're focused on your future. We're going to get our economy back on track. How? By getting a balanced budget. Surprise. Who would think that having a balanced budget would be common sense? We talked about making sure taxes are going to stay low. Not like with Kamala Harris and my opponent. They want to make your houses $25,000 more expensive. They want to mandate electric vehicles and make us increase our taxes by $1 trillion. My opponent will be a rubber stamp for that. Folks, we need to get U.S. energy back up and running. And we're going to do that, and I'm going to do it along with my friend Hung Kao when we win in November and get this country back on track. Folks, I have to tell this story too because it involves our governor. Remember, Governor, a few months ago, you were on the news, and you talked about how the border is impacting us here in our Commonwealth and in the 7th Congressional District. And there was a news outlet that started poking at you, yelling at you, saying, "Why is Governor Youngkin talking about the border? There are only borders with West Virginia." Well, interesting enough, a few weeks later, we had 2 illegal immigrants of Jordanian descent attempt to breach the front gate of Marine Corps Base Quantico. And those 2 individuals have been released on bail. We don't know who they are, who they're affiliated with. As an Army guy, as a Special Operations guy, we want to know that information. We want to know where they're at, and they're going to cause danger to our communities. Yes. I had the opportunity to recently go to the border. Folks, what you see on the news is nothing compared to what's actually going down on the border. In fact, it's kind of interesting. We had a forum with my opponent because he wanted to beat me the other evening, and I was talking about how you can see the border wall going down the line. President Obama built border wall. President Trump built border wall. And then it stops. And I asked the sheriff, I said, "What is that?" He goes, "That's Joe Biden's border wall." There was nothing there except for a whole bunch of steel and equipment laid along the border. Rusted. Absolutely, Lieutenant Governor. Folks, the border crisis has caused every single state in the United States of America to become a border state. 100%. And folks, it's not only about our national security and the fact that we have 2 individuals that tried to breach the front gate of one of our Marine Corps bases. It's also about the public safety and the stuff that it takes away from us, taxpayers, citizens of the United States. It takes resources away from our local sheriffs when they're having to go find fentanyl. In our district, one of the things that really, I sit down with a lot of our sheriffs and our chiefs of police, and I can tell you, when I look at someone from Caroline or Greene County or Madison County, I ask them, I said, "What's the #1 thing you're facing in your county?" And they say, "Fentanyl." 5 people a day are overdosing on fentanyl right now in Virginia. We've got to get our border under control. And again, my opponent is focused on his past. He's focused on his revenge tour against Donald Trump. He has no intent on fixing the border. In fact, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, as I told him on stage the other night, could fix that problem right now. But they're not. So it's going to take us to have to win and get into our respective positions to go shut down the border. Yes. Folks, we are at an interesting spot in the world right now. I know I have a mentor friend of mine, and we talk about it all the time, and I asked him, I said, have you ever seen a country like this? Have you ever seen an election that is so consequential? And he said, no. Folks, it is very important that not only we win so that we can get good people into the House of Representatives and the United States Senate, but so that we can turn our country around. Yeah. And it's going to take all of you. Folks, my opponent is going to continue to lie. He's lied over and over again. He's lied on commercials. He's hid behind social media in commercials. He's lied about his military record. If he's willing to lie about these things, what else is he willing to lie to the people of the 7th Congressional District about? So folks, I cannot implore you all enough. We need to get out and vote. So when you leave here today, Monday morning, get out and vote. And then when you're done voting, like Governor Youngkin said, you make a list. Do it on your phone, do it on a pen, pad, paper, old school, whatever you want, and make a list of 10 people. Call them, text them, ask them what their plan is to go vote, because I can tell you folks, if you wait till election day, something will come up. It always does. And you need to get out and vote. I need you all also. If everyone in this room went and knocked on 20 or 30 doors, we've reached thousands of people in the 7th Congressional District to get our message across. We tell them that, you know what we're about? We're about making life more affordable. We're about making our community safe. We're about taking care of veterans. We're about trying to fix 95, which my mom called me from every single time that she's driving on 95. She gets stuck there. Those are the things that we're running on. Those are the things that we want to fix. But again, we cannot afford another 4 years of the current administration. And again, my opponent would be a rubber stamp for those policies. Folks, all eyes are on the 7th Congressional District in the country. I just spoke to Speaker Johnson recently. Speaker Johnson said the entire country is watching what is going on here in Central Virginia. Why? Because what happens to the 7th District is going to happen in the U.S. Senate, and it's going to happen in the White House. So folks, I need you all to go vote. And it would be an honor to not only just be the next congressman here in the 7th Congressional District, but to be